Yes.
All right, so at this point, it's recording. And now. Hello, hello. So the owl is on. So now the question is, do you see a pause?
That's the view, oh, that's not, that's another there.
Pause.
And look at that, now it's almost 6 o'clock. Hi, Steph.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. We were just getting started.
Excellent.
So I will call our Wednesday, August 5th, 2026 select board meeting to order. We are missing Steve Halloran, our town administrator, is on vacation this week, but we thought we'd go ahead with the meeting anyway. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes.
I believe that we approve the minutes.
Yes, this is our July 15th meeting. All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, they are approved. We can even add a public comment. I almost forget. Betsy Duaney is joining us
Hello,
tonight.
Betsy. How are you? I'm waiting for my husband. He's on his way.
Do you want,
He
okay,
It's an hour and a half, but
are you okay starting? We can do something else and come back to you if you'd prefer to wait for Patrick.
see where he is.
Okay.
He left on screen, but
You tracking? Us asking?
No.
or them?
I can see where his phone is.
daughter, but.
No, yeah,
You're good.
you're just hovering on
Oh,
it,
he
it's
should
doing
be here
that.
any second. He should be here any second.
Okay, we can wait a moment if you want.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, if
Are
you
you
prefer,
okay
if you
with
want to
that?
get started, great, but yes, I'm totally fine with that.
I'll wait until he gets.
We'll wait for Pat.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, because he's,
It doesn't seem to be.
what's it not doing?
Well, we were seeing Michael Miller, but not.
But not us.
not us.
This is good, Betsy. It gives us a moment to look at our
issue.
RT issue, which is sort of okay, in my view, but probably other people might want to
Do
see
we
it.
care?
We'll look for participants and take a peek. No, sometimes, oh, go to view up on the, if you go to the top
Yes, it's good.
and then
Speaker.
Yeah.
go, just try speaker at first, the tippity top, we know.
Try that other one, the four little Trump.
Yeah, try that one. No,
Nope.
boy, anyone joining up or watching this is gonna be thrilled. How interesting.
Go and view again and
Well,
see if
down.
there's another
What
option.
about down in the corner there, which is his name? Thing to
Where it says video,
Yeah.
it, just above the video.
At the very top. What do you want, a gallery?
Go up,
view? You
go
want
up.
That's what I'm
everybody?
wondering.
I think you want gallery, try that, except we're still only seeing
Isn't
Michael
that what it
Miller.
was on?
What about- self-view,
Click the four squares.
show
on the top.
self-view.
Where's that?
We
Ah.
did,
We tried
We
the four
tried the
squares,
four
it was
squares.
an after.
try show self view. Yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Where was that again?
All right. Well, see, I'm glad we had this pause. Hello, Patrick. So I'm gonna, indicate that you are here as well. Steve will be watching the video but he asked if we might take preliminary notes too, so I'm
Thank you
gonna
for doing
try,
that, Amy.
I'm gonna try my best, but.
I'm allowed to.
We have a couple of questions that we are hoping that you can answer or at least look into answering for us. I'll give you a little background. I have 3, possibly 4 questions. And Patrick will add to it too, but the background is, I'm Betsy Duaney. This is my husband, Patrick. We live at 86 Cutler Road. We used to live at 830 Willowbrook Road, which is kind of behind. We got to the point after 11 years of living on the road, we wanted to get away from dump trucks and traffic and all that. And we moved to Cutler Road because it was nice and quiet. We've been there for 20 years. And it's been great. Back up to 2 years ago, Betty passed away. It's just a dirt road. It's just us and it used to be Betty. It's a dead end.
That's Betty Stockwell.
Betty Stockwell.
Mhm.
The family decided to put the house on the market. We were told several times throughout the years, it is not zoned for a business. It is wetlands, it can't be built on, and the other side, you cannot put a road in because there's not enough frontage. Which makes our land the sought after land because we would have the access to a development if that were to be put in. So with that said, there happens to be what Steve calls an office business. It's an excavation, full-blown excavation business that is in place.
Mhm.
Dump trucks go by constantly every day. It could be 5:30 in the morning, it could be 9 o'clock at night. They have a trailer, there's all this big equipment that is transported daily. It's been going on for a long, long time. We were told that a business was not there. But, I'll get to the same thing in a sec, but, it's just constant. We have no privacy. Our house is less than 23 feet from the road. I
Mhm.
can show you pictures so you can get an idea of how close we are.
I remember doing the site plan review on that piece of
Yeah.
property.
Right next to our house, it drops right off. The road was put in the early 1800s.
Mhm.
Horse and buggy days. It hasn't been moved or changed in over 250 years. There was no zoning board back then. That's where the land was. So we've got all these dump trucks going and we've got employees coming in. We've got employees going out. We now have 2 houses aside from us on the road. Traffic is bonkers. We've got delivery trucks, we've got town trucks, we've got everything coming in and out. We have people flying by. This morning I went to go let our dog out. The dump truck was not driven by Travis. The person was texting. There's no way they would be able to see my dog if Millie were to cross the road. There was no possible way. We are prisoners in our own home. So my first question is, how is it possible that a business was allowed to go on Cutler Road? I don't know if you have questions for me, if you want to look into it.
Yeah, and so this is something, because I know a tiny bit about it, you were on the select board, Kent was not, where this came to us, not for these purposes, it had to do with the bridge, if you'll remember, in Cutler, right? So, Avis and Travis Marsh, who own it, not Avis, Hebring. It came to us for that, and so I knew a little bit about it then, but it did go through, right, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been passed by zoning and planning,
Mhm.
right? So it's not,
Isn't that a planning
I
question?
was on. the
it may
planning
be,
board.
but I totally respect that the Duaneys want to come and talk to us
Right.
about some things, but yeah.
What passed the zone?
The project, the
Well,
Okay.
there's two separate things. There's the
Yes.
pit.
I'm just trying to give a little context.
Yeah,
And then there's the-
I know the area. I've
Yeah.
been up and visited.
So
Yes,
the
so-
pit I'll get to in a sec, but
Right.
the business part is not zoned
Okay.
for business. But we were told by Steve that it's an office, it's just an
And did the
office.
ZBA know it was going to be a business? I haven't looked at their.
I don't know, because
Okay.
we didn't have any knowledge of any of this until, as a butters, we had no knowledge of any of this until probably when zoning board was talking about the pit.
Okay,
Well, we didn't even know then. We didn't know then that it was a business.
okay,
Um,
so that's one.
So do we know if they're like maintaining their trucks up there and they're like emptying oil and
It's
doing all
just
that kind of stuff?
constant.
So they're parking up there, right?
Yeah.
And they're loading stuff like dirt
employees
back and
come
all?
in, employees park, employees go out, people come in and get stuff every day, there's tubes going out, there's big, huge equipment going out, there's a big trailer.
And Betsy, just for clarification, I know that they were also building a home, right? So I know
That
there's
was
like,
another-
that
that was
there's,
another
right, so
part.
I know it's a little bit complex, it's not just the business. Has the home been built at this point?
The home has been.
So
built.
what,
We
and the
don't know
business
if
is
they've-
operating,
We,
using?
They had permission to operate a business.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, if Steve had said that the dump truck was a personal vehicle, so do they go for ice cream in a personal vehicle? I mean, as a dump truck, I mean,
I'm
I
just
don't
trying to gather.
I
the
don't
facts, yeah.
understand how it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. So you want answers to how can it be a business, which, I mean,
How is it a
obviously,
business
I
when
mean,
it's-
I think you're aware, like,
We were told it years, we've been there for 20 years, we were told it was not.
so we can look into some of this, obviously, we
Okay.
don't have answers tonight,
Mhm.
but go on.
Okay. The second part is, we were notified a week and a half before a zoning board meeting that the pit was gonna be open. So what we know from Betty and the family, the pit was, in the early seventies, David Stockwell realized that it was a benefit to building the highway, so they opened it for a few years. What I understand from the kids is that they had smaller dump trucks and it made a mess of the road, an absolute mess. And they had another road that came out from the pit, basically across the street from our old house on Old Brook Road. So there was a road that went out that way, and that's where the trucks ended up going in and out. And so a week and a half before, we're blindsided by all this, had no time to prepare. And the pit has been closed for over 50 years. It hasn't been used. Now it's open, and I'll let you talk about the other part with them.
Can I just ask a question? The pit is like, to get access to pit, you have to drive by your house down the side.
Correct.
Okay.
And you have to go by Betty's and then down a road, and, well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So part of the agreement for opening the pit was Travis will be the only one that'll be driving. That, you know, there was limits on the number of times they could come in and out. But in asking about how is this enforced and what happens if this isn't adhered to, it was, oh, you know, that's a neighbor thing. You know, so after 20 years, 30 years of being here, we're basically getting put into the part of where we need to be the bad guys. And I come home from work and that, you know, do I have to sit here and review things to make sure that stuff was getting adhered to? Yesterday, there was a delivery that was not Travis. So it was, that's not what was agreed to. You know, we got a text after the fact, and I think, you know, that, you know, I don't know why the text came in after the fact, but it did. But you know, what is the, you know, my ask on this would be, you know, we are getting zero of the benefits of this, and all of the negatives. You know, the town gets revenue from it. The Travis gets revenue from it. Monitoring of adherence to that should not be our issue. We should not feel like we have to be the bad guys in this.
But you coming here and in this
Yep.
forum, that is a very appropriate first step to be able to
Yes.
address your concerns.
But
'Cause we don't
when-
live
when-
there.
when- Yeah, and
So-
when I brought this up at the planning board, I was very, very quickly told that this is a neighborhood thing. You know, that is your problem.
Richie, maybe you can help since you're here. I'm curious, why the town trucks are going.
Just dropping off ditching so he can use them for his lawn or whatever he's using them for.
So, you're like,
Just dropping off.
you're dropping off ditching, okay,
Because when we dig out,
and you need to
ditching
put it
is a
somewhere,
place.
and it's helping him.
It's helping us and it's helping him.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Or I guess, I mean, he's supposed to be using them around his house, so.
Okay.
So how often does that happen?
Every once, it ain't every day. Cause today we're busy doing.
Couple
something.
times a week,
It may be a couple times a week, depends on where I'm working.
Sure.
If I'm working on the other side of town, I'm not gonna drive way over there, so I would find somebody on that side of town.
Right,
okay,
So
I just wanted.
but I
That's
would
why-
think that that
But
would be
that's why we're
something
up
that's
there,
straight
just
off
drop
the gate.
ditches off, that's the only reason.
Okay,
If you need some, I'm all glad to give you some too, because we're trying to find places to put.
there's the solution, we'll just put it, wall out of here, anyway, I'm sorry, go
so
on,
your
go
ask.
on.
Yeah, I just did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my ask is, not one of butter agreed to having the pit open.
And one of them is now put their land on the market.
Yes, and I asked permission to state why, and it's because of all this. They had planned on retiring here, and because all this is going on, they want no part of it anymore. Having dump trucks go by their retirement, they just don't want it. There were 9 things that needed to be proven to allow the pit to open. I had asked about, or actually both of us had asked about depreciation of our house.
Mhm.
And who's gonna wanna live there? We're prisoners. We can't even go out on our porch anymore. Dust comes up all the time. It's just constant. People are yelling at us because we ask them to slow down. They fly down the road and it's delivery trucks, it's family, it's friends, it's whoever. Flying up and down the road. I used to walk up and down with our dog. I can't even do that anymore. We're literally prisoners in our home. I can show you a picture so you can see how close it is. Another,
That road's not very wide either, so
No.
if they're going
No.
down quickly, it's not safe to walk on.
Yeah.
50 feet wide.
people drive on our lawn. We were chatting with someone. They were impatient, drove on our front lawn, which isn't much, to get by us. And we're standing right there. They backed into our woodshed. I can't tell you how many times. It's just constant,
Yeah,
just every day. We can't live our lives.
so at one
So my
point,
ask is,
Yeah.
how is that possible? How is this possible?
how, yeah, I mean,
We have really struggled with, I mean, part of one of the things that kept coming up was, okay, you had an older lady that was living there, things are gonna change. Yep, we get that.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
understand that.
Yeah.
You know, and we have. This is not something that we're enjoying doing, you know. And again, that gets back to my ask is, you know, after one of the meetings, I took Travis and Avery aside and said, hey, you know, I understand I'm playing hopscotch with your Christmas card list as we're sitting here asking these questions, but again, it's the position that we're getting put into. I mean, I'm sure we probably caused just as much consternation for Betty when we moved in. And, you know, with the changes that we brought into the road, we understand that it's not gonna be the same,
mhm.
but we seem to have gone the other direction.
Yeah. You were saying that there was an alternate way into the pit from the Brook Road?
Mhm. It's
And
not there anymore.
It's grown up, but
Yeah.
it's probably still kind of there. Most of
No
it's-
bridge.
No bridge,
There's no bridge there any
no
longer.
bridge, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
built for trucks considerably smaller than the one that they're using,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah,
you know.
So refresh my memory, who owns the property across from the road? You do?
We own all the land.
Okay,
Our-
wasn't there at one point discussion about having an alternative route across the backside of the field that is opposite your house in order to alleviate this level of traffic with the large trucks?
We would love to ask the
I
town to
mean,
do
is that a
that.
possibility?
We would love to have the town do that.
What would it
I
take to
don't-
do that, like for the town, you know, because the road's not there, I mean, is there a road that would, because I don't know that property? How would that happen, is there a road or?
It's open field.
Yeah.
And it would have to be looked at, but if the
Which
town can do that,
I thought there was discussion about Travis taking that on.
that would be great. They're a sweet family. We hate to.
I'm
this.
not,
We really
I'm
do.
not
Yeah, we-
remembering verbatim what happened with this process, but I remember distinctly going out and doing a site plan review at your house and,
Yeah,
I recognize all of what you're saying. And
Upshot that I got was that the town would be happy to entertain that as long as we would be happy to help fund it.
that
That-
sounds
that
like
was-
the discussion
That was the.
but I don't know that it was
We're
the
not-
town, I
we're
think
not
it
in a
was.
Position to fund a road being moved.
I don't know that
So-
it was the town so much as like Travis putting up because of. The obvious increase of traffic on that corner, because it's like, there's like a corner right in front of you.
it is.
It just, pretty much everything gets.
Unfortunately, I think going through the field though would not alleviate the corner, it'd give you a straighter shot into the corner.
But it would give you more distance between the traffic and your front door.
You're talking about the back on the left side, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
As
as you're going up
Okay,
with the
that would
house.
make
on
the
your-
corner 100% better, actually. It would be
Well,
such a nice there.
So where the corner is, right there is wetland, so you couldn't do it there. You couldn't
Okay.
you couldn't put a road there. Basically where it breaks into field is where, you know, is where you would end up putting the road.
You'd have to go off.
It would make it marginally better, but it would not alleviate that corner, unfortunately. You'd almost have to go through some of the Transo's land to get rid of that
Well, it wouldn't actually be to get rid of the corner, it would be to distance.
To move the road, yes.
That would be
Yeah,
moving the road.
there's plenty of property to do that,
Oh,
but,
Here somewhere,
but again,
Right up there.
it
right?
was,
This is the corner we're talking about?
So-
yes.
I think I would certainly need to go back and look at the minutes again, and perhaps we would go back to the planning board.
We
And
need
at least
to,
it's on the planning board, so that's why I'm looking
So,
at
what are
her. Oh, I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what are the, if you looked at this, what are your property lines?
So where our house sits, the property is essentially the shape of a butterfly.
There,
So this
With the house
and that.
at the center.
bring up our
So,
GIS.
Yeah,
So
Oh, thank you.
we have,
oh, you're brave.
You can try.
and then this is all woods here, but
I
you
No,
have.
I think I should-
yeah,
that.
it goes up around the corner, so there's like the class
That's
six that goes up the
Cutler
hill.
Road, and that's the big corner. I think that's what they're talking about, is this field.
Yes,
Uh,
Brad showing us a
Sorry.
GIS map of your.
Oh,
property.
perfect.
Satellite.
Yeah, their house is
Just-
literally on the road.
Just Googled it.
Which,
and-
if Steve were here, he'd be able to screen share that with us. Unfortunately, our tech skills are a little lower, or at least with this system. Okay, so at one point, because the bridge work came to us at one point, and I had looked at the minutes. And so, and I can go back and look at some of those planning board minutes. If I remember correctly, though, the planning board was sympathetic too. I mean, it didn't, the outcome you wanted wasn't there, but they.
On this-
I remember them expressing that your concerns were quite, and the other butters' concerns were quite valid.
On the second
Yeah.
go around.
Yeah.
It was better.
Yeah, so there seemed to be, if I'm remembering correctly, that the minutes indicated that the planning board was gonna do another site visit this August.
We were supposed to go, we have been trying,
To see how it was all going to.
as a
working out.
board, we have been trying to follow up on
Yeah.
the site plan reviews to make
Okay.
sure that the permits that we have issued are being followed. Because there were supposed to be certain considerations and
Yeah.
limitations that were supposed to be in place.
And if I'm
But
remembering,
we
there
don't
was,
live
there
there,
was,
so-
there was.
Yeah, one of them
Yeah.
was putting a wear plate on the bridge, which.
Yeah,
We got it, we just gotta get.
I don't think that was part of the
Okay.
state site plan.
Okay.
review.
Okay.
I'm glad
That's-
Richie's
well,
here
that-
tonight.
I just gotta
Yeah.
get it.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I think
'cause
that's.
That was a
issue.
separate thing,
Well, I
Oh, wow,
agree
that's
with
good.
Steve
but the
that
traffic.
it probably isn't necessary.
That's
It was voted on and it hadn't happened, so that was.
That's something I suggested anyways, because all the ones that are tipped up like that, you go across and you end up chipping the tops off. I want to have it so you get a wear strip on it, just so you could change.
So you have it, that can happen,
Okay.
I know.
I do that.
Yeah, I was nervous that had fallen by the
No,
wayside.
no, as in I just haven't had a chance to put it on, yeah.
Okay. Is that a big job?
It'll take me probably a couple days,
Okay.
but I want to get it done this month, so it will be.
Okay.
It,
I'd like to hear that.
honestly, just more knowing that it's in the process and that it wasn't.
It wasn't forgotten.
No, yeah, because it's something I wanted to do a while back, before that even happened, I want to put it on, it's, we gotta do it. Well, it seems like every
So-
storm, like, and move the road over down on River Road, and then, of course, we got tied up on that last year, and we never get a chance to get, but before we know it's someone.
Yeah,
Right, so it sounds to me like, can the planning board look at that site planning and like, look at. That now that the house has been built too, so now we're just dealing, I think, probably with the business too and getting.
I don't think Jane will have a problem with reviewing that.
Yeah,
If
it's
It's
I did
it's
see
something
in the
that
Vincent, I think it was a Mike Sutherland,
we usually give them a year.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike was involved with it and Jane and myself and. Who else was on the board at the time? I think Ross was, but I'm not sure if Eric was yet.
And in the meantime, I wanna think of what the select board can do. I don't wanna just say, oh, go back, cause I know.
But it would be
You're,
good to
you're
know.
being so pleasant, but I also understand there's some frustration here, right? Like you don't enjoy spending your Wednesday days with us. And,
We don't like closing.
no, no,
No, this is a legitimate
This is a
situation.
legitimate
that you're-
situation.
yeah.
I feel, I'm glad you've come, but I wanna know what, what the select board can do. And I think that gets into looking at moving the road. I think that is actually in the select board's I mean, along with some of the planning board, I'm guessing.
I wanna think that when we did the site plan review and that we were talking about shared expense with
Okay.
Travis, because ultimately it was his business that he was creating as part of opening the pit that was going to be increasing the traffic.
Mhm.
And I don't have a photographic memory, so I
Right.
would wanna check
Yeah, I think we should go back
the
and look.
minutes from those meetings to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm not speaking out the
I-
side of my
right.
face.
Right.
But I want to remember that we had conversations about moving the road and that it wasn't going to be exclusively a town responsibility to do that.
Well, especially when
Because
you have
realist-
somebody that has nice, good equipment, knows how to use it.
Well, yeah, well, and the house is, I mean, the road is literally
Yeah,
right,
it is
on,
right there.
you know. And if they're flying down that road, there's no way that there's not debris and.
No, it's right
dust.
to your yard, basically.
I mean, what I'm hearing you say is that you are not here to shut down the business, I mean, you know.
Well, we're trying
all
to figure
things-
out how the
all
business
things-
was allowed.
Right, yes.
With all the equipment,
Yeah.
because that's way more traffic than.
And it
what
could be that they're creating more traffic than they were originally given permission to create.
Yes.
I don't
That's why-
remember the details of the decision, but typically in our decisions, we have conditions, we have understandings, we call findings. And so I would go back to that decision and look for any details about the very things you mentioned, the number of vehicles a day, what was represented to be the intent. And if it has gone beyond that, then
Mhm.
Because they can have employees, but they're limited on how many employees they can have.
But,
And they
that's if it's
can't-
a business.
So
But
I
it's
think
not
we need to
zoned
go
for
back and
business.
look at what their agreement was.
There's, we have no business,
I
so
don't think you're.
So
we don't have a
I don't
business.
think I can give you an answer tonight,
That's
but we need to
permitted
look
use.
at this,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
to review it and see what the
Hold on, Maria.
situation is. And, what was agreed on before, what the limits that we have to help you, because we wanna help you, of course we wanna help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it sounds like there may be,
Was
if
there,
not a solution, a compromise, right?
was there a petition to the planning board to be zoned commercial?
There was, I believe, something to the ZBA and to the planning board. It went to the ZBA first. The ZBA gave them permission for something, and that's what for the pit. And that's what it would like to get. And there was an application, I think that there normally is that deals with exactly what they,
Yeah,
and I
there's
would-
parameters that they have to.
why am I telling you know way more than I do
Yeah,
about
there's
that?
parameters
Yeah.
that they have to function within.
Yeah.
Like, hours of operation is one of the main things that we look at when
Yeah.
we're in a residential area. It's like, no, you cannot be going in and out at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, you cannot be showing up at midnight.
But
No, you cannot be
Steve-
racing down the roads.
But Steve told him that because it's a personal dump truck, a personal vehicle, that they can go in and out whenever,
Well,
and they can move equipment whenever. But I don't know how the.
to a
equipment is
certain
set up.
extent, because they own the land,
I would think there'd be like a reasonableness for.
there
right? Like
is,
there's
that's
a-
why I wanna
but not
look
a-
into what the planning board
Yeah.
set as parameters.
So for tonight's purposes, are you good at us going back and looking, and so the three of us are aware?
You know, honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
for me, just
Yeah,
getting out of the business of feeling like I have to be enforcing this. I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
that's why I was asking about the wear plate. It's like, you know, if my understanding was we have these things.
yeah,
You know, let's, you know,
yep,
it's not up to me to
right, right.
to be the arbiter of this. You know,
And you'd like to
especially.
be able to walk your dogs down the road and
Yeah,
sleep,
I'm constantly, yeah.
right? Okay. So, but that works for you tonight, for
Yes.
this purposes, if now we are aware, we will look into this.
Thank you so much.
I
Planning
will-
board will,
I will
We'll circle
make,
back a
the-
certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I will make the commitment that I will look into the planning board aspect of this. I'll find the minutes for the planning board site plan reviews, and I'll talk to Jane and Mike about
Thank you.
what was going on. And, you know, I'm vacation, their vacation, so I can't say that it's gonna be tomorrow.
Okay.
But
But if
I
we
mean,
can
it
get
will
it on
be
an
within a
agenda,
week.
though, to update you.
Right, so if we circle back next week and went over what I'm not next week, but next meeting.
Next
Went
meeting,
over what.
I
you
would think
found.
by the next meeting, I would be able to have come up with some information.
Is it too soon to ask the ladies to come back, or? is
Well,
that-
I will, what I
I don't
will,
know what their
You're
views
welcome.
are.
I will make the commitment that I will find out what I can for the next meeting and whether it's convenient for you to come back. If you don't have come back that time, the information will still be waiting for you here.
So the next meeting is August 19th.
Okay,
So we are gonna shoot for that. If we are able to get it on the agenda, if we have more information, you know, we don't want you to come and find out.
Yeah.
You know,
Cause I do
Jane
have
was
to
on
wait for,
vacation, you're on
yeah,
vacation and it didn't happen. If we know that it's going to be on that agenda, we'll make sure that you are well aware because we need you here for that. And then if that doesn't work, we'll get you on the September, first one in September.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, it's the only time we can talk about.
cause
it,
we have
is
a
when we're
meeting the
together.
17th.
and the
There's a
17th
master plan hearing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the planning board,
Right.
I'm sorry,
So
different
I
phase.
think, but I think that was the meeting that we were told to come back to a year ago.
That would make sense.
Okay,
And should they, you let them know. Right now, they are not on that agenda. That's the
They-
master plan.
That's a
night,
master plan hearing,
Which is, yeah, so probably it won't be that day.
but Jane has she
Okay.
has the option of putting whatever she wants on that, so
Okay.
I'll
we
touch
will-
base with
we
her.
will-
okay.
It's
That's what we
information.
were told last year, so I wasn't
Okay.
sure. We hadn't
Yep.
heard anything. We
That's-
weren't sure.
That was the meeting that we were intending
Okay,
to do a review
Oh.
of, are they actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? Are they adhering to the parameters that we put in place? That's what that was. So if you hadn't come tonight, I would have, and you're welcome to come on the 17th meeting to the planning board if you want to. You would be welcome to come. But yeah, that's what that was supposed to be,
okay.
was to what you're doing now, was to
Okay.
give you an opportunity to come before the board and tell us if it was working, if it wasn't working, and for us to go see what's going on.
So we as a board will not be discussing it before at least the 19th, just because we
Okay.
don't, well, just because of open meeting laws, we don't.
Yeah, we're
meet
not
in
allowed,
private.
I
Yeah.
can't talk to her about anything.
Right,
because it's
so
forum.
nothing will happen without you here, and we'll make sure you're we're in communication about, you know, how we're proceeding with our individual, looks into this, but.
Thank you so
Does that
much.
help? Oh, and Maria, I'm
Okay.
sorry, did you have something to share?
Two questions. Are the planning board and zoning board on YouTube? And when did they
Yes.
start so that they can actually see it?
Oh,
Because if
they
you
were not
attend
being-
They
both, you like to see it,
yeah.
because the minutes, it's just one little
Ex-
paragraph.
Excuse me,
Well,
Maria,
thank
at
you
the
for that,
time
yeah.
of the meetings that they're talking about,
Yeah,
we were not YouTubing the meetings.
you weren't.
The
okay.
meetings are available on the drive here in the office.
Oh, they are, okay. so
They were
they
being
can-
recorded, but they're
Okay.
available here, they're not
More
available
like Kate
online.
Drive,
Well, yeah.
Unless maybe Sarah got ambitious and went back and put them on.
But we can
I-
also find all the documents, I think,
The
was there
other
a second?
question is, the planning board and the zoning board, I've been in other cities and towns where if I had an issue, like the next board, if I had the property and I'm doing something, I had to go and mail out letters to all the abutters.
Yeah, the
That
Duaneys
happened.
were part, yeah, the Duaneys were part of that process, they're just letting us know how it's going at this point.
We got
Because she-
we got the
Yeah,
bare
because you
minimum
said
of-
that, you found out like a week before.
For
or
the
something.
business part, we
Yeah.
didn't know there was a business.
Well,
going
So-
for the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
think it
well,
was
The
2
people
weeks,
sitting-
for 2
sitting
weeks
on the-
notice, they had to.
Marie, we're looking into it, it's
Yeah,
okay, they
yeah,
brought it to the select
I
board
don't think
and.
this needs to become a finger pointing exercise. What
No.
it needs to become is we all work together, to find a solution.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
so
great.
we will work on that.
Thank you.
You are
Thank you
more
very
than
much.
welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting and hear the rest of public comment or the department reports, but you also, if you want to leave, we won't.
Back and forth, so.
You can catch us on YouTube later, so.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
We appreciate you bringing this to our attention, for sure. Is there other public comment? No, okay. Department reports. Chief, we don't always start with you. Let's start with you tonight.
Well, first off, the Main Street construction project
Yeah.
is doing well. It hasn't
Okay.
caused too much chaos, but it has inconvenienced some people, but we managed to work through it. So for the month of July, we had 147 calls for service, 34 motor vehicle stops, 10 directed enforcement patrols. We deployed our speed trailer and sign 9 times. We had 2 motor vehicle accidents, one from a fallen tree that hit a car, another from gravel on a dump truck that came from out of town and spilled its load. That was over the side of the truck, just gravel that dumped out as it took a turn. So responded to that, and we had 6 community relations activities. And so and we had a domestic arrest.
Hmm.
And that's it was kind of nice and.
I wouldn't say that out loud.
So, the gravel incident,
It was
did
coming
the guy
from,
keep going, or did he stop, or how does that, I always wonder about that, you know?
so it was a truck that was just filled up at,
Pike,
Carroll,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
and he was coming southbound on 12A in the area of where the old Frito-Lay building was.
Mhm.
That curve there, as he was going on the curve, the driver's side of the load, although covered, was overflowing and sitting on the edge of the side of the dump truck. So when they made the turns, it came down, bounced off the roadway, hit the front of a car. So the driver of the car behind him was
Scary.
able to flash him, and they stopped just north of Old County Road on the pull off there, and I responded there.
okay,
So,
just curious.
yeah, so he did stop. And he took responsibility. I go, whose responsibility is it? Is the person loading your truck or is it you? He goes, I'm supposed to make sure that it's
Yeah.
not, so. But luckily he stopped.
Can you make sure could you just forward your, whatever, your notes to Steve for the written
Yeah.
minutes, just whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, you just said, I'm taking some notes, but not
Gotcha.
details. So, all right. What you-
Good evening, all. So, every time it rains hard, we go out, we check roofs, make sure everything is good. So we've been touching up hills and whatever needs to be touched up with a grader and gravel as needed. We've been ditching on Haywood, Crane Turnpike, Eden Road, Chelsea Road. Haul back winter sand on the days of rains. So we get that, we're getting there with that, we're almost done with that. And we've been mowing, so we're on Willowbrook Road, Chalice, High Street, Grantham, Mountain Marsh, Red Hill, and Gleason.
Did you have a little bean today? There was some
bean,
mowing
yeah,
across from
today.
the library. and I
Yeah, they
didn't
did
know
do
if-
bean today.
Yeah, I noticed it while I was walking my dog before I came in.
So then we put up Mag, which they were talking about with Dusty there, so I gotta make sure we hit Cutler Road again. So we put up Mag, we did Haywood, Hedgehog, Old County, and Whitaker and Underhill, well, every Underhill. And then we've been working on a catch basin here on Bain Road, trying to get that ready to be paved. And then I got the line stripe in on schedule, so another week or two, that will probably be done, the line stripe are the ones that we always do.
Mm.
That's about it.
Anything that requires a decision from us?
No,
Thank you
no,
for that.
I try not to let that happen. I just,
Do either of you actually know when, you mentioned the construction, and I know it's not our project, but when is that wrapping up?
I know, I just talked to them yesterday or the day before, they were checking it out. The next thing is they're gonna be paving it, but they have to leave it the way it is now for a little bit, so everything's settled down, and then they'll be paving.
Okay.
So I guess most of the major
Week
stuff is
or
done,
two?
probably we could.
I mean,
So it's a mess, but it's passable.
but correct.
they do an okay job at night making it passable. you
I've
know, when
not
they're
tried
there.
going through there even. It's like-
Yeah, when they're gone, it's not ideal, but.
You all set with me?
Thank you.
We're also with you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Get lost.
thank you,
Get
and thank you
lost.
for
Thanks.
contributing to the
It's a
personal.
love.
You don't wanna stay?
No. I get up at 4:30. Get tired.
We'll stick with the table, Brad. Why don't you realize?
So kind of quiet. A lot of things are moving slower than they ought to because people are taking time off. So I have a lot of messages out, and some responses. But we've got, today, I left a message for Bev, but we've got the guys on the slate roof that we had take a look at earlier. Have asked for Monday and Tuesday to come and look at all of the 3 projects and take care of that work. So it looks like that'll happen.
That would be nice.
I was at the Plainfield Town Hall today, looking into Bruce had experienced and let me know about a water heater issue. That's got a little instantaneous water heater for the bathrooms and the kitchen. And when they were washing some dishes, apparently it got cold on and off. There could be a couple of reasons for it, but I went today and I let it run for 10-15 minutes and it never pulsed. It generated good hot water. So my guess is they may have had it partway on. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. They've got a big function. I met with the grader when they happened to be doing a walkthrough. And so I told them what I knew and that, if they had a problem, they could give me a call. At some point, that unit is probably 10-15 years old. And so it's possible it's at its end of life. And we might consider putting a slightly larger one in next time. It's instantaneous is good because we don't want the standby losses and we wouldn't want to have to drain the tank every time we shut the building down. So I think there are larger models that would produce more hot water if in fact that's the issue that we ran into. And if the building's getting more use and is likely to have those kinds of needs, then we can bump it a bit. And
Sounds
we're
like
talking $200-300.
Keeping
It's
an
not
eye
a
on it
huge thing.
sounds.
Yeah. And Marshall is going to start at Philip Reed doing some trim painting and still has pieces of work to do along this building, just finding loose stuff and filling it up. We are still waiting for the heat pump installation at Highway. Nate Bergeron has canceled twice without notice. We're a little frustrated with him. I've left messages asking for an update, but that's sort of it. I can shift gears and find somebody else, but we know that ARC would have charged us essentially the same you would
Yeah.
charge for a new install, $7,000 to install, and that just seems crazy. And so we'll keep
Be
on,
patient.
Richie needs some cool, fortunately, it hasn't been that hot. Knock on wood, but we're on it, we're just
It's
trying.
been wicked humid.
It has been, I know, and it's heading in the wrong direction, but that's where we are.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, all the grant stuff is sort of moving along and, Hub 66, I
Oh, yeah.
reached out to them, same rigmarole. This time they said, well, we're starting to bring it down from Hanover.
Wow.
Last time it
What
was coming
happened
up
to
from
Lebanon?
Cornish, and then it was
Yeah.
coming down from Lebanon, and so
They're
I'm
going in the
very-
wrong way.
Well, we're in the middle of all of those, so
Yeah,
it's gotta
exactly.
hit us
You would
eventually.
think. They have, unless they somehow get a reprieve, they have to have it built out by the end of
I
September.
was gonna say, we have a deadline with
Yeah,
this.
and the reality is, when they hit hard
You're right.
and they come
And it
through and they can
happens.
get it happening. It is extremely frustrating that they say nothing meaningful. And, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We
that's
try not
what
to
I-
do that here.
Right, so in that, that's my report for today.
On that note, thank you. Thank you, Brad. Any questions for
Brad.
Brad? No. All right, so we will, Chief Walter.
Sure, so, the month of July, we had 19 calls. And the call last night brought us up to 106 for the year.
Which is high.
We had,
isn't it?
our highest year was last year at 139 for the whole year, so
Oh, boy.
we're way over.
Yeah.
So of the July call, we had 8 fire alarms. The 3 fires were the lightning strike, the e-bike battery that smoked, and your neighbors tried to catch the field on fire with the fireworks on the 4th.
Yes.
It was all up by the time I got there. Then we had the 8 alarms, those 3 fires, we had 5 tree wires. One of those was the one that came down on the cars that was driving under it. an elevator call, the person was out by the time I got there, and we had 2 medical assists. I also had responded to 3 medical calls when I wasn't called for, so I'm looking to do at least not the full EMT, but to cover my butt in case I'm carrying someone out of the house and I trip and fall. Everybody's covered. Last week I went down to Newbury, so we belong to the Midwestern Hazmat Group. It's a $2,000 a year thing, so every once in a while we get a new gas meter, so we were trained on a new, now it's a 5 gas meter, so it added the volatile organic carbon on there. So we got trained on that. I don't remember when we finished this, but the 4 cards that Mrs. Alafat donated for us to do auto extrication are over at the annex. And that training is currently scheduled for Sunday, September 13th, I think it is. August is just too busy with Spirit Days and Cornish Fair and touch trucks and everything. I'm currently the highest bidder on municipal bid for 2 sets of rescue jacks. Those are about $8,500 for a pair of them, and
Yeah.
currently I'm at $200 for some used rescue jacks.
Oh, you're so good.
But there's still a week left. So we're looking to do that. Touch a truck is August 15th. I mean, Richie wasn't sure, so I just made sure he knew. It's 2 to 4:30. And then Spirit Day is a couple weeks, the week after, and that's still on Saturday,
It's
correct?
Saturday, yeah, with the rain date for the Sunday after.
Okay, someone asked me because they said the kids weren't showing up till Wednesday for school, and I was like, well, we moved it from Sunday to Saturday because school was opening. on
Yeah,
Monday.
I don't know.
But I
The
think-
construction may have
Construction
been
may
getting in
And
the
I
way
think
of
the
that.
teachers show up on Monday, but maybe.
So, well, we're gonna leave
For
it, we're
Saturday.
gonna, it's been advertised for Saturday, let's leave it there.
And then, we're up to 28 members now because we convinced another Shell Ian to join,
Excellent.
rejoin the
Well
department.
done.
Yep, so he came on Monday and we got him outfitted with gear. So that brings us up to 28 firefighters just looking. That puts us around 15 to 17 that show up with any.
I was gonna say during the day
regularity.
is the trucky part too, I would guess.
All right, and then we have some that show up once or twice a year that, you know, we don't necessarily, haven't told them to go away because when they show up, we can use them.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's about it. The part school inspection season is, I've got to inspect all 3 schools, because you remember you got Estabrook and the elementary school and over here. I haven't been by the elementary school this week. 2 weeks ago or whatever, they still hadn't put the wall up on the new classroom.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll happen.
And they were checking yesterday because when they got the approval from the fire marshal's office, they put down sprinkler system and alarm system were deferred because they didn't have the plans for those yet. I was supplied the sprinkler system plans 3 weeks ago and told them to go ahead, not to slow down the school. So those are still down in Concord. The approval hasn't come back yet, but it's just adding 1 room, so it's not a lot of
Okay,
moving parts. So I'm pretty confident looking at the plans that I've seen, what they're doing will be signed up. So I'm
How
not-
long as they follow the plans?
as long as they follow the plans, yes. KUA doesn't have a lot. We did training. We used the Silver Gymnasium on Monday night for that. Hit Matt Tucker and Bill Taylor as students hiding in the rooms. So then the firefighters there couldn't ask them questions where stuff was. And it took us a long time to find Bill
yeah.
because the door wasn't locked. It was just stuck. So 7
Yeah.
people tried to open the door and no one was successful.
Why was it stuck? Was it
It was just,
humidity?
it's just the doors warped a little bit on the back.
Well, maybe you wanna look at
Yeah,
that, you
humidity.
know?
And, so yeah, and then we looked, of course, my biggest, stress over KUA is the 7 1,000-gallon propane tanks that are out behind the heating plant. And those are different than your home ones because it's pulling, the liquid propane out of the bottom of the tank. So the shutdown procedures are completely different for that. And, we was training with Cornish, so now the Cornish guys have
A lot
seen
of
it as
training
well.
on
So
that.
if something happens in those 7 1,000-gallon tanks, they will be there.
And they think it's the same shutdown, right? They need to know. All right.
So is there like a fire marshal over there you deal with, a gateway, you have their top fire marshal guy or
They try to say that Daryl Beaupre is the
Carol, yeah.
Daryl, but rightly so, no.
Hmm.
I mean, he's in charge of the brigade and stuff, and they try to push some of the fire stuff onto him, but no, so that's why I'm there at least once a month, checking on
You
something
should be
for.
on their payroll.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
saying.
that's something that you get to look at, because if you look at any like military base, I know it doesn't
Yeah.
have federal funds and all that, but they have their own fire department. Right?
Yeah.
And so, it seems that at a minimum, there should be somebody up there knows how to shut that gas thing down that you're talking.
Well, there's, yes and no, I mean,
Yeah.
the people that are there, I'm not sure that we would trust how they shut it down anyway, and if
It's
it's
not a
leaking,
dump
if it's
water.
leaking, you've gotta get
Right.
your hose, cause you go in through a spray of water, so you can have a fire truck there with a hose
Yeah.
and someone on an air pack to go in to shut it off, you can't just walk in, that much propane going
Yeah.
off.
Wow, that is dangerous.
And for that would be astronomical cost for them to actually have, I mean, they don't have the hose and the air packs and the training for that.
Right.
No, because even if you were to train, I mean, Daryl trains because he's a member of the fire
Right.
department, right? But, so even,
You can't
he's
take
not
60
there
seconds
24 hours
Right,
a day
and-
either.
I,
Yeah.
I'll call them kids, cause that's
I
what they
know.
are,
That's
the brigade can't do anything in
No.
the danger zone anyway.
Right, right.
Are
So they're
there,
not
are
gonna
there,
problem.
automatic shutdown systems available?
Well, there are safeguards in place that are supposed to shut off.
Okay,
But if, like, there's a 3-inch pipe that's buried all the way under the parking lot and stuff to come up into the heating plant, if there's a problem underground,
Right.
that's not gonna detect that really.
well,
Would be catastrophic.
I know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
And
really.
all in a chain link fence, I mean, I think it's basically as safe as you can make it.
Okay, I was thinking, you know,
Good
the
question.
gas station islands have discharge,
Yeah,
chemical, and I just don't know if there is the equivalent.
not really
idea
for
for
propane,
propane.
because sometimes if you get a leak and it's burning, we don't put it out.
Right.
You don't put out a
Yeah.
burning
Burn
propane
it.
tank.
Right,
You let it burn and you get it shut off and you cool the tank to get it to
Yeah.
go out on its own, because if you put the flame out, then you don't know where the propane's going.
Okay.
Right.
So that's always a big thing at a house fire, is that you don't put out the propane tank that's burning. You just cool the bottom, so back to that, they're pretty responsive as far as fire stuff goes, that's why I'm over there every month, 'cause, you know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, if we're doing all we can with burden sharing and all that. It's the question to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
It's something to look into, I guess.
That's where they have highway.
So, are you all set?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Steph, thank you, Bruce. Thank you, yes, thank you.
Yes, I'm not gonna say the Q word, but it has been nice, for the last couple weeks, that it's just been really calm. I'll use that word, calm.
Kentucky wood.
Yeah. We are doing the transition unfortunately from summer into fall. MCC camp is ending next Friday.
Oh my gosh,
Unbelievable.
I mean, I know it's August, but it feels like,
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. We're getting, into thinking of bus routes
Mhm.
and, school starting and kids getting ready to go back and meet friends and parents are freaking out. You may know Busy Bees, they are retiring, and so that childcare center is closing on 120 after so many years of
Mhm.
helping to nurture and grow our youngsters in town. That's gonna be a huge loss for our community. So there's lots of young families scrambling right now. Mr. and Mrs. B gave them a lot of notice, but still,
Mhm.
it's not the same.
yeah,
So that's taking place, and yeah, it's just getting everybody what they need to make this transition into fall and new schedules. Food pantry is open this week, tomorrow, from 9 to 10:30, and then the third weekend, which is Cornish Fair weekend, will be open as well. We did get a nice delivery from the New Hampshire Food Bank today. That's wonderful. We've been getting great veggies from local gardeners. Actually, I got a whole bag of green beans out in the foyer, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, so all is well, just keep rolling smoothly and keeping calm.
Steph, I'm trying to remember when you talk about back to school, if there's any program that you have in place or that you know for like kids who need the supplies.
So I
Right.
speak with the administration.
Yeah.
Audra and I are always in contact
Yeah.
about that. We do have a backpack program so that we can fill backpacks, give them the binders, whatever school supplies they need, and it's there waiting for them when they come.
Was there last year a snack, I mean, I'm trying to remember, there's a snack program there as well,
So we
and
did the
breakfast.
Blackhawk Breakfast Club.
Breakfast, and that's gonna be happening again.
Oh, absolutely. And then Nurse Beth and one of the middle school teachers have snacks all day long for any of the kiddos that have rumbly, grumbly tummies that need.
And the best way for people to contribute is through the Shell Fund,
Or through
Or-
the food pantry.
through the
Yeah.
food pantry or the Shell,
Yeah.
okay.
you had a full house for your senior lunch?
We did,
Indeed.
Yeah.
up at the farm, it was amazing.
Oh, right.
Good.
Yes, we were at Willowbrook, it was great, we had horses milling around, eating people's lunches, and it was great, I mean, everybody really liked it. Those that were a little nervous about the horses coming up, they softened right up, it was wonderful. It was really, it was kind of therapeutic,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah, one of the horses found a bowl of carrots and tried to steal them. every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob was the gatekeeper, Bruce was watching umbrellas, you know, Chief was doing our 50-50 raffle, or our raffles from Walmart, which was great. But yeah, we had a great time,
that's
lunch
nice.
was wonderful from Plainfield Village Store, so yeah, I'm glad you asked, so it was great, and then we have the Langwood Farm, event coming up, that's a shared luncheon. So that'll be coming up the end of August, and that's, sponsored by the Lamar Fund, which is a wonderful.
Is that one, people need to make reservations for that one? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
well, for that one too?
No, we still have a lot of open tickets. Yeah,
Okay.
and if anybody has a hardship, we have scholarship, which is great. So it's $10 for an all-you-can-eat buffet from Bloods. A beautiful setting on top of the world.
yeah,
Oh, not at the top. of-
No, but almost to the top of the world.
So I'm gonna make a little comment, but tell a little story, but I'm sorry, you guys elected me, you gotta put
Tell
it.
us.
So that place with the Willowbrook Farm, they call it, so that was all Nelson Green's property when I was growing up. And he was the last man in Plainfield that actually farmed with workhorses. And it wasn't doing it because it was cool or, you know, a hippie thing or anything like that. He was doing it because that's how he had traditionally always farmed. And, you go down there, there's those big old workhorses with the, you know, like the hooks like that.
Yeah,
So every time I drive by there, I think of Nelson Green. He's also,
that's awesome.
first.
well, I'm sure he would have been pleased with everybody there, because they really did have a good time.
Please go ahead.
Sorry,
Oh,
yeah, then I had something.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
okay.
if I go ahead.
When you were talking about bus routes, it made me think once more of the bus stop signs that are on 120 over by Grantham Mountain Road. The bus stops used to be closer to the village, and those two houses right in a row, the kids just came because there were two stops. The bus would stop at the first one and then stop at the next driveway. The sign for the bus stops is beyond those two driveways. So has the bus stop changed?
No, but the bus well, in the morning, the bus is coming into town to pick up those students. And then in the afternoon, they're the first ones to get off. Going out of town.
Okay, but the sign that is after the two driveways is on the same side as the houses. So you drive past the houses and then there's the sign for the bus stop. Which leads, you know,
Yeah.
who doesn't know better to think that
It's
the
still
opening of
coming.
Grantham Mountain Road and, you know, where all that comes out is
There-
where the bus
Well,
stop
there
is,
is
which
a
is
bus
not.
stop at Red Hill Road in Grantham Mountain, you know, so you turn onto Grantham Mountain, or there was, I don't know. if there's still is. Never mind.
But there's nothing,
We're all
and
grown
that's,
up now.
that's what I thought, maybe the kid location had changed.
It might have.
But the sign is after those two driveways, not before.
So is that, I don't know, do you take care of that?
That would be
Somebody
state.
can look at
I
that.
Is it a
don't-
town sign? It's on the state road.
It's on a state
It's
road.
state road.
so
I'm
I
guessing
don't-
I know who's
You know what,
responsible.
we should also, we can let, also Audra know as the principal, like, ultimately,
Right.
her to Butler.
Town road.
Right.
So
To
they
make
could do
sure, or
something
Butler,
for
make
that.
sure that they're all in the right place.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
I
Bring
would
that up at our
say
first meeting.
is if you can establish what you want, compare it to what you'd like, if there is a discrepancy there, then there is supposed to be a mechanism. They have a portal at the state that lets you make requests. Supposedly someone is monitoring that and trying
Hey,
to.
I thought that the speed
Yeah.
limit
Yeah,
went
right.
back because of
Right.
the bus stops.
Right.
Right.
I will, talk with Audra and maybe have a meeting with Butler Bus too.
yeah,
see-
just to make sure
Yeah.
that's, they're where they're
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's after the fact. It's like, you've already hit the kids. Why is there a sign? I'm sorry.
Bruce.
Sorry, I haven't even warned Stephanie about this one. It's interesting how things kind of cluster up. So,
Oh, God.
no,
It's
so
called fruit.
Saturday, I was approached by a landowner that has one of our fire pines with a dry hydrant on it.
Okay,
And he was asking about the process to actually get deeded access to his fire pond. Cause he won't be around forever and if they move so that then we would have deeded access.
okay.
Steve wasn't here, Michelle, I didn't know if any of our other dry hydrants had something in their deed, but if that happens, we gotta figure out the process and the lawyer will have to get involved somehow.
Yeah.
You know, this is an emergency. I was gonna wait for Steve to come back because he might know.
Yeah, I bet
I thought
I'm
one of
sure
the ones
Barry-
on Branson Mountain or Bean Road might have already had deeded
that is,
access.
feels like a Steve question
Yeah, so
to
I
me.
can start
I mean,
then.
thank you to them
So
for
then-
thinking of us, but
Along with that,
yes.
at the call last night down in Mountain Valley, they were asking, because we had talked about putting a dry hydrant at the bottom of their driveway, because they're looking to build a different building.
Mhm.
And so along with that, they asked, well, are you still interested in a dry hydrant? Because it could be incorporated in the same project. And so I didn't know if emergency management, I tried to sleuth today whether there was funding for dry hydrants or
I can look into it.
I
can
think the
call
one
them.
up on 120. I think we bought the pipe and Robbie Williams put it in through the owner or some cost sharing type thing. I mean, so they kept sending me some rural community fire thing, but you go there and there wasn't any web
I can
page for
ask
me to
you.
click.
So a dry hydrant?
Yeah. Cause when you stop and look at it, it's great. The Connecticut River is there. There's no place we can get a fire truck to suck water out of the river. So all the way from the north end, there's a pond out on the racetrack at McNamara's.
Mhm.
And the next, that's the only water source we have on the whole length of River Road. And so it is,
Great.
unless we pumped with a portable out of the one at Mountain View. Once, but there's no place we could get a truck into it.
I'd say if you've got a list of dry hydrants that you know of, use, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent project to see what the circumstances are. Is there a way, if there aren't deeded easements already, is that a good mechanism? Can we approach home?
Yeah, so
homeowners
Michelle,
about
and
property?
that's why I was over here.
Yeah.
Whatever day that was. Tuesday, Monday. So Michelle, we pulled a couple of people's files out, but it
Yeah.
wasn't anything in there, but I thought the one on Grantham Mountain Road might have had deeded access, because if there was already one in place, it'd be easy to
Right.
copy versus trying to make this up from
Yep.
scratch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was
Yeah.
just my other.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Yep.
All right. I think we have run out
Thanks,
of department
Stephanie.
heads. To ask for reports, so thank you, and again, if any of you have notes, whether it's just your statistics or
Yeah.
whatever, to send along to Steve so he can put them in the minutes. I'm gonna be watching this
Yeah,
anyway, but I think
pretty
it'll be helpful to him to have those. I think he sometimes types those in while we're here. And on our agenda tonight, we have Bev joining us to talk about a little bit about the town administrator search and
Yeah,
where we are. Do you want to come to the table, Bev? I mean, if you're
I can.
comfortable, you can stay there.
I can sit here.
It's up to you.
Just
Make sure you.
I made
You're welcome.
10 copies, so I
Okay,
think that
thank
there's
you.
enough, so you can pass them around. What I did was I just created an update on where we are and how things are going. I made, kind of what we've done today, then, our advertisement placement, Indeed is the place to go. We've had more response from the Indeed ad than anywhere else. However, there are quite a few that don't read the ad. But the other good news is that, I posted on the New Hampshire Municipal Association. Also, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, I had done some work for them last November and I called my contact up there and asked about posting on their website. And because we're not members, they charge $90, but I have had some response from that. LinkedIn, I've had a couple of responses. I actually, I'm gonna do it again, but I went out and I did a search and contacted 6 people that were relatively local to see if they might be interested directly.
Cold calling?
Pardon?
You just called them up? I'm
I
not trying to be
usually email
insulting,
them.
it's just, but
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know these
There's
people,
a way
so.
to do it right on LinkedIn to contact
Oh,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
I put the ad out this week on ICMA, the City Municipal Association. The Valley News ad ran for a couple of days, did it on a Friday, Saturday. I am getting ready to do Connect Cornish for their Friday edition. I'm going to repost on Facebook. And then this time I didn't actually do the first one, but this time I'm gonna cross post on some of the Upper Valley
I think that's a good idea.
posts on Facebook. And then the next door post will go up either tonight or tomorrow morning. So overall, when I looked at the number of applications, there were a couple that I discarded right away. There are 39 out there, but I would say there's probably less than 20 that I really would consider, to be honest with you. But that's,
That's
you
not
know,
bad.
my
actually.
goal is.
That's actually a lot.
I mean, my goal is
Yeah.
to interview, for me to interview 10.
Yeah,
So it's coming.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. And I did get, I've received 10 applications for the advisory committee. A couple of them sent emails but haven't filled out the form, so I'm going to do that. And.
You're gonna get them the forms, you mean? not-
Yeah, I'm gonna send them the form. And what, I think two things that I wanted to discuss about that is, nobody knows who those people are. It's only come to me, nobody else. So it's all confidential and, based on what I'm seeing from the applications, I can take the information and redact anything that would be identifying information. And then give you the information to look at and potentially score and pick from that list, how many ever there are. I'm getting ready to also do a second post on that. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to let you know, this is the post that I want to do on Facebook. So, one time we tried to post something on unemployment on the
Yeah.
webpage and nobody could find it. So I worked with Mike Sutherland and I said, what's going on? Let's have an employment
Yeah,
page. So the town administrator has been up for a while on that page.
and it's right on her
And I
front page.
just-
Yeah. Yeah,
and I- But I also put, you may not know this,
Yeah.
but it's volunteers.
There you go.
So I
That's an
said,
excellent
this
idea.
is where we can put, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it for this to try to get more people involved. But,
We can use it for a
you
lot
know,
of
you
stuff,
could
right?
use it for zoning board, planning
Yeah.
board,
Conservation Commission,
anything.
anything.
So here's a copy of that.
Thank you. So if I remember correctly, the form for volunteers for our advisory committee of residents, which is different than
It's the
employees.
16th,
It wraps up on the 14th, I believe.
14th or 15th.
Yeah, I think it's, you
And
know,
then the
either one. I think it's
application
important.
deadline is following it.
And we had hoped to tell people by August 20th who, you know, or ask, I mean,
Yeah.
around, we have a little wiggle room just in terms of timing of all of this, but we do have a meeting on the 19th. And my thought was that I do think we have to go into, even though we won't know who it is, I think perhaps best we go into a non-public session just in case for people's reputations as we discuss that. How will we know though at the end? Because I was thinking we'd come out of non-public and tell people who we've selected, but we won't know who we've selected.
You're just gonna give me a number.
Just trust them. They'll give you some good ones.
Okay, so we will give you our selections and then you will then take it from there, because that was my thing. I thought, well, we'll come out of non-public and let people know who we're going to be appointing to the board, but we won't be doing that that night, but we will make our selections if it works for you on the 19th.
So I
yeah.
just wanna, just give my point of view
Okay.
on the selection of the
Yeah.
advisory committee.
Yeah.
I think it has to be, And, you know, I stand to be
I will, yep,
voted
absolutely,
down or whatever,
absolutely.
but,
We hear you.
but I think, if there's any requisite for being on this advisory committee, I think there has to be somebody that's on the tax rolls. That's my
Oh,
feeling.
yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So they're on, and that's the only thing. And I say that we get in, say we get in, we talked about this last time.
So I have a question. Do you mean they have to be
Tax rolls or
tax rolls or voting rolls? Because tax rolls means they have to own property here. So a person who rents or a child should not be,
I say they gotta
not
be on
child.
the tax rolls. They have to be a taxpayer to be on this advisory committee.
Well, technically, anyone who rents is paying
It's that,
taxes
right?
through their rent.
Okay, so yes, so they need to be a resident.
I
But they-
was
they
thinking
have
they
to
had
be
to
a
be a
resident.
voter, but,
I was,
you know,
yeah,
we have 1,800 voters in town.
I mean, do we have a list of everybody on the tax roll? I'm just wondering, because some people,
There's gotta be a list.
I'm thinking
who
of
pays
a
taxes.
spouse.
I mean, spouses, yes, I mean.
You know what I mean? I wanna be
the
really clear
Family
with
has to
this.
be on the tax roll, meaning spouse, you know.
But they would be as a renter. I don't want to exclude renters, because I think that that's actually an important part of our town. You know, I don't want to just say it's the people who can afford to own a home or hoping to afford to own a home. That's my only concern with that. I want to make sure we're getting, people who are renters. So would you be willing to just, I mean, we have, it's also something we've put the application out there and we haven't said you need to be on the tax roll.
Right,
So that's the other question. And I'm thinking also if
it's
you
a
had.
thought I have.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
not
just,
saying,
I'm
I'm
talking it
not
out.
wed to it,
I'm not,
yeah,
just, I mean, I might be disagreeing with you, but I'm also just trying to
right.
think it through here
Right.
because we didn't. I'm also, yeah, I don't know that would, I think we need to stick to the criteria we've told people we were sticking to, because we may have people who have said they'd come out. I know we also have, yeah, I think,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
Let
the
me-
requirement
I'm
that
sorry.
they're,
let's consider
okay,
that.
okay.
I
well,
think that the requirement that they are residents of the
Yeah,
town
is enough.
is
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
Oh.
I understand you know, the nuances of,
Yeah.
you know, them being on the tax, but we don't have a huge number of renters in this town. But I would hate to see someone who legitimately wants to be involved with helping us through this process, not be able to do it because they don't own, they are not the name on the deed of the property.
Yeah. But go on, you have more
Yeah,
to say.
so that was just the first point, and I'm willing, you know, whatever
Okay.
the consensus is,
Okay.
I'm on board. The other thing is, I really think that this has to be a straight up random process where, in fact, you know, if somebody's concerned about transparency, let's get the clergy in here. Let's
Oh.
bring in a minister to guarantee that whoever has an application, their name is on a little card that goes in the hat.
Well,
And we do it right on camera and we say like,
Yeah.
okay. Miss Smith,
I think that, and unfortunately, you weren't here when we accepted what we
Oh.
were putting out there,
Okay.
and so we have a real set of criteria that we've told people who, or not a criteria, a set of,
What's it?
procedure of how we're going to do this, and we had heard and, that option, but we really want to make sure, I mean, we do want to make sure there's a cross-section of people
we
on
would
this.
ideally,
Yeah.
and
I don't want to
really-
get the clergy involved,
No,
I
it's- it's
don't.
just-
But,
well, if you're
But
looking
the
for an honest
moderator,
broker,
well, you know, here's what I'm gonna say to that, Kent, though, is that we were elected, right? The three of us were elected.
Right.
People trust us or they don't trust us, and that's fine, but we've been voted in to make some of these decisions. And so I don't feel like I need to bring even the moderator into the select board meetings or clergy into the select board meetings. I know there are people who disagree with the job that I'm doing. They're welcome to, you know, if I were to run again, they'd be welcome to vote me out. Or run against me, and that's fine, and I think that for the way our system works, like it or not, is how the system works, so. I think that we've gotta stick at this point with our plan, which I'm so sorry you weren't here to put in your 2 cents for, but we did agree
yeah.
on how this was gonna work, and what I'm comfortable with
is that Bev is the only one who knows who we're looking at.
Okay.
And then we're gonna see some real heavily redacted things and kind of try to put it together from there. We may look at them, we may get the three of us in the room and think we don't know who any of these people are, or, I mean, they can't be so heavily redacted, we don't know why we'd even want them on the committee. It may be that we come to sort of a random process in our meeting, but.
Yeah, so I'm just, for
Yeah.
the record.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
say random is the way to go.
Okay.
And that if it comes up all 7 are women, all 7 are good Plainfield women. Or if all 7 are men, they're all good Plainfield men. Good
Absolutely.
citizens of this
And
town.
I totally
And,
respect the spirit of what you
Yeah,
are saying and your
and-
intention.
yeah. To have it be beyond reproach, then you have somebody like we asked Duke Jones to come in and just witness
Do
the
we
process.
Dewey no longer lives in our town, so,
Oh.
yeah, I
Did we
just,
move?
yeah. Yeah.
2 years
He's
in. Fairfax, Virginia.
Oh, my. I was gonna give him a call and have him over for dinner.
Well,
He used
it's,
to
you
be
know,
my pastor when I was
yeah,
growing up.
he's a lovely man, but no longer part of our
Yeah, okay.
community,
Um,
always in our hearts, but, yeah.
So with everything redacted
Yeah.
on these forms, it's entirely possible that we would end up with a disproportionate, you know,
Yeah.
gender combination on our board, but I think that it's more important for us to be looking at the motivation for these people.
Yeah,
And that's,
absolutely.
that won't be.
in the end, it's an
redacted.
advisory committee, right?
In the end,
They don't
yeah.
have any decision power.
We are
They're making
not,
the
we are
decision.
not appointing the Supreme Court. We are,
Yeah.
you know, putting together, and we are so thankful they will do this, but an advisory group of citizens, which is one piece of this whole thing, right?
It helps to
They're
have a
not
lot of
making a
eyes on
decision,
things.
yeah, so.
Well,
we're
thank
gonna
you for
do
hearing me out, but, anyway.
Keep speaking up.
That you've
Members-
got a nice diverse group so
Okay.
far,
Yeah,
you know.
That's good.
okay. I appreciate your. opinion.
Good. I mean, I'm finished.
I like
Okay.
it. I like that he's
Alright.
not shy anymore. When you first started, I thought he wasn't gonna say anything.
And I, you know, Yeah.
You're going to select 7, 5 on the committee and 2 alternates in case somebody can't.
and you're gonna give us enough information that we understand a little bit about why we're.
What they're bringing
What
to the
they're bringing
table.
to the table, whether it's a homeowner, whether it's a newer resident.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
I might have to dig for some of the information.
Well, we'll do our.
That's why you
podcast,
get the big bucks.
Yeah.
I knew that'd get a laugh.
And so at least I feel like I was just like, no, I'm, you know, I disagree. Are you fine with it as,
If you had said something I disagreed with, I would have said
okay,
something.
you know,
And just an FYI, when you make those selections,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be someplace else that night.
yes,
Unfortunately. I have another commitment and, but I'll be home about the end of the meeting, so you can give me a call and tell me the numbers of the people, so.
Yeah, because you're gonna
I
assign
won't be
each
here.
application a number, right?
Yeah.
yeah. All right, I think we're gonna come up with a good group and you've said that our applicants are all.
Yeah.
Fine people and fine residents and so I think we're gonna be okay here. Anything else we need to know about the search?
And any other questions that anybody has on the process so far? I mean, I'm pleased with how it's going, and I'm prepping all the time. I've got some things, I've got questions that I've been digging into. I am going to, for this group and the committee, is going to see this as well. The people that I'm going to interview, I'm going to ask them some questions on paper,
Mhm.
because I want to see some more writing skills.
Yeah,
So,
excellent. One thing that I don't, and I did miss a meeting, so although I watched it, so I don't remember us talking about how the staff advisory group is going to work, the town employee advisory group.
it's pretty much the same way
Yeah.
as the advisory group. But you're gonna have to decide who it is that you want.
But I'm assuming people will volunteer.
So in the end, both committees will racket stack the applicants, like 1 to 10 or whatever, however we got, and then. It would seem like some of the town, each committee, there'll be some overlap. which will make, like, in the top 5 of each committee, there'll be like maybe 3 that are common, this, I guess, you know, so, but possible anyway. And then, that gives us that means a candidate gets 2 check marks because both committees like them. And
Right.
then we consider, those rack and stackings for the.
Right, and then
Yeah.
you would meet with those people.
Well, if I remember right, like Bev, I assume it's a very similar to our police chief search, right? So you will meet with them, you're part of those interviews.
I am.
The top-
I'm not gonna be the questioner,
Nope.
because I've already done my
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
But I'm
absolutely.
the moderator of the groups.
And but then, so the top 3. Assuming
For
that,
you to meet,
three-ish,
and that's what we did the
right.
last time.
And then
We
you bring
brought
that to
3
us.
forward.
Yeah.
And one during the interview process, we were pretty sure wasn't gonna work, and then we were down to 2. Here he
and
is.
here it is. All right, so that's
What did
how
you
that
think?
will
Like,
work
who,
out.
me?
You
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
me?
you know,
I thought the process was great.
Okay.
Yeah, you got hired.
No, but I mean, I knew some candidates want to do Zoom and I'm like, I'm not doing Zoom, you gotta, doing Zoom seems sort of disconnected. If you're really interested in a job, you do everything in your power to show up in person and interview in person.
Mhm.
That's just me.
In this particular case, we're gonna meet in person with the people twice, once with the committees, hopefully in the same day, 2 committees. And then you.
Yeah.
Would be a separate day.
So off the top of your head, are these applicants, are they locals? Are you finding that they're coming from far afield, or what's your sense of that?
Well, what do you consider far afield?
Well, further than a half an hour away.
A couple of them are probably more like 45 minutes,
Interesting.
maybe an hour.
But within New England, we're
But
not
within-
getting people from.
Yes, we did get quite a few. We get a few people that weren't even in the country with working papers. And even though I had said, do you have the legal right to work in the US? They
Yeah.
still apply. But I would say at least 10 were within at least 10.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought there'd be that many.
Well, it's not a bad case.
We are a
Really?
hot community.
Not a bad
You
case.
know, the Dartmouth Health, the Dartmouth College, just the Upper Valley in itself, and, whether you're a skier, a hiker, if you're into the fishing, it's a good place to live.
Hmm.
I think we agree.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with this staff one, I don't know that we need to have so much, I don't know, maybe, feel free to disagree with me here, but I think that we're looking at 5. Do you remember how we did it the last time? So maybe
Let's see.
5 or so.
Well, we had
And I think
Stephanie, we
kind of
had.
covering the departments would be a nice thing,
Yeah.
making sure the
Justin Bill
departments
and the
get,
School principal.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
as long as the departments are asked,
you can. I gave you a list. You could potentially, if you wanted 5, you could also include a committee chair if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of planning board and zoning board
Yeah.
kind of work that the town administrator interacts with as well. So, I mean,
we have a little time to.
yeah, you've got time for that one. And I figured the first meeting of the advisory committee, and we can do the employee or other committee would be around the first week of September, if all goes well.
Okay.
That's something, the date, you should get out there soon.
Yeah.
So that people can set that time aside, if it's gonna be during the day, evening, it's just a busy time with the holiday. and-
Yeah.
And that's the first meeting of the committees without a candidate here, right? So,
Correct.
so we have some flexibility of when those committees
Yeah.
can meet.
It would it would have to be before September 12th because
Okay.
I go away for 10 days on the 12th.
Okay. All right. Anything else we should know? Any
That's it.
questions for Beth?
I'm just gonna say one other
Please
thing.
do, please do.
And that is that I think, whoever gets selected for, the Citizens Advisory Committee, there's an oath of office or an oath that they have to take. Is
I
that
think
right?
that that would be a good
Interesting.
idea because
I really think
I,
that's
I,
a good oath.
that and, confidential, signing off on a confidentiality, conflict of interest.
Yeah.
That may even be something, I know that boards that I've been on have brought an attorney and sometimes to like remind the board. I'm not doing with this one, but you know, of. What you hear, you know, because we want our candidates, not that we don't want citizens to find out later, but we need our candidates to know that what they're sharing. And if they're even looking for work, especially if many of them might live in this area, is super confidential, right? It's not
Right.
something
Yeah,
you
this
can
is
ever go and
serious.
say,
So,
I thought so-and-so would have been better, like, you may have that, but there's a real.
I'd like to do an oath in front of the flag. For the, I mean, that sounds a little bit like, draconian or something like that, but I think really, if you're gonna step up and help this town select, the next town administrator, you have to be willing to like take an oath that you're gonna follow what you say on that plan as far as confidentiality, as far as, you know, taking it serious so, for me, an oath is a sacred thing. There are some people that it might be a temptation to blow it off, but if you really want to like, make sure somebody's on board at least in the beginning, then.
Well, there's some real legal ramifications for
Yes.
our town,
Yeah.
with this, so. But I'm assuming you have some forms that people have signed in
I
the
do.
past, we may wanna run them by Barry,
I
make
can-
sure, but.
Yeah, and I might also talk to Dan because he may have something as well, being the moderator.
Moderator.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's already a standard language of the oath
Right.
that we ask for
Right.
anybody that's elected office, so.
all right,
Yeah, we all have to stand up and.
yeah, we do.
We do.
No, I think it makes sense to let people know that it's serious.
We have to
business.
understand that, yes.
Yeah,
We did not, because the only people were already sworn in because they were for the town. Except for Justin, who was in Cornish, and he was the chief, well, he wasn't the chief at that time.
No, but he was
Regardless of
providing
what happened
services
before, I
here.
think you should
He
have
was
this
providing
process.
services. Yeah, he was providing services for us.
Yeah. And he was paid.
Right.
So, Beth, thank you so much for this work.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot of
work.
it's a lot of work.
Sorry to like go at you.
And I know we're really still at the beginning of it, and so, but I appreciate it and everywhere you.
Yeah, I think we're on the right path.
Yeah,
And
good. We appreciate
getting
it.
there. We got a plan.
All right. Any other business? I'll entertain a
I'm
motion.
fading fast. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. All right, the meeting is
I'm not
adjourned.
trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to.
You weren't coming across that way.
You didn't come across as difficult, listen, I think that that's